Imagine you are going to the cabin with your man and he is trying to kill you. Or are you trying to kill him? Or is somebody trying to kill y'all? It was a lot going on in this movie, and we gotta talk about it, y'all. Welcome back to my channel, and today we are reviewing Over Your Dead Body. It was a lot in this movie, but let's get into it. So the movie opens up with a husband who is a struggling director, and he's actually getting off of work, and as he encounters the people on his way out from work, he is telling them, hey, I'm taking my wife to the cabin. And everybody is looking at him like, okay, take her to the cabin. He even goes and visits his father who lives in a nursing home. So as he's leaving the nursing home to pick up his wife, we see why he's telling everybody, because that will be his alibi, right? In his car, he has supplies to kill her. Weapons and a rope and tape and all types of stuff, right? So then he goes to pick up the wife. The wife is an actress, and we kind of get a sneak peek into their struggling relationship. They bicker, they fight, and it comes off as the husband is trying and the wife is really not receiving it too well. So they make their way to the cabin, and the wife goes to reach for the hidden key, but it's not exactly where she remembers it being, which is the first red flag that something is a little off about this weekend. She eventually finds it. They enter the house. Over the next couple of days, we see him preparing to get rid of her. We see him putting rocks in the boat to weigh her body down. Just him preparing, right? But they also continue to bicker a little bit. They make dinner together. But he also asks her, hey, have you seen my sweater that I left here? And she's like, no, I didn't see it. Which is red flag number 2, that something is off, because yet again, there's something that they remember leaving there. It's not where they left it, right? Okay. So the day comes for him to kill her. And my boy is nervous. He had to take a few drinks before he attempted this. So he finally walks up to her and he's going to knock her out with chloroform, I think it was. So as he's approaching her, he gets closer and closer and her back is turned. At the last second, she turns around and she tasers him and he is out cold. Now, come to find out, she knew about it the entire time and her plan was to kill him. Okay? So when he comes to, now he's tied up and she's asking him, she has a gun and she's asking him why, how did we get here? So come to find out, he found out that she was cheating. And that's what sent him over the edge. So they're having a conversation about the whys, and she's telling him, you were too controlling, and she was unhappy. Now, what she didn't count on while they're having this discussion is the husband had an accomplice, right, who showed up late. He was supposed to have been there already. And so while they're having a conversation, the accomplice knocks the wife out, okay? And again, now she's tied up. And so you kind of think this is going to be the movie, right? Them going back and forth, one having power over the other one. And so when she comes to, now it's 3 of them, right? And they start arguing over the money, the insurance policies, who's going to get what, finding out the husband was lying about how much money he was going to give the accomplice and things of that nature. So there was a struggle for the gun. The accomplice accidentally gets shot. He dies. And now the husband and the wife is wrestling for the gun because the wife was able to get loose from being tied up. So they're running all over the house, chasing each other, wrestling for the gun. They go upstairs, and while they're struggling for the gun goes off again. This time, it goes off and it shoots through the attic, and somebody starts yelling in pain. And so they freeze because they're looking at each other like, wait a minute, it should only be me and you. Who is yelling in pain? And so at that moment, 3 people fall through the attic down on them. And then we get a flashback on who these three people are. And this is where this movie becomes totally unhinged. So the three people are two escaped convicts and one parole officer who have been on the run, right? They were running through the woods. They found the cabin before the husband and the wife got there, and they've been squatting in the cabin this whole time. The wife and the husband show up unexpectedly, of course, and so the three squatters hide in the attic. And so this is where the movie takes a turn, because now the squatters have the control, and they tie the husband and the wife up, and they're telling them, hey, we want money. Do you have money? And the husband and wife, at first, they're like, no, we don't have any money. But the squatters are ruthless. They're like, well, if you ain't got no money, like, we're about to kill you. We're about to torture you. Like, we don't care what you're talking about. So eventually the wife is like, hey, we do have money, but y'all gonna have to wait till the bank open in the morning and I'll take you. So this is where the movie kind of lost me a little bit, honestly. So as these squatters are trying to prove, like, you know, we don't really care, there are a few scenes that kind of rub me the wrong way. So first of all, let me pause here and say this about the movie. The movie is rated R, right? There's a lot of blood, there's a lot of gore, body parts, things like that. So if that's not your thing, just be aware. There was also, and I want to say this correctly, there's also an attempted assault scene in the movie that I felt was so unnecessary. And I think the point of the scene was to prove how ruthless the squatters were. But I felt like that scene wasn't necessary to convey that point, right? So that was just unnecessary in my opinion. And so that was really the movie. Them going back and forth with the squatters, them getting loose from them, then the squatters catching up with them fighting. The movie wraps up with actually the husband's father showing up unexpectedly. The father gets a call at the nursing home from a neighbor of the cabin saying, hey, it's something going on over there at your cabin, because come to find out the cabin is owned by the father. It's something going on over there at the cabin that's not right. You may want to check it out. So the father steals a car from an orderly at the nursing home and rides out and pulls up while everybody is outside fighting, like, who are y'all and what are y'all doing? Father kills one of the squatters on sight, and then it gives the husband and the wife a chance to escape. Now, the father does get killed in the process, unfortunately. But it does, like I said, it gives the husband and the wife a chance to escape. So the movie wraps up with the husband and the wife finally killing the ringleader of the squatters, right? They throw him in the water. And when they do that, the husband's foot gets caught in a rope that's tied to the person that they threw in the water. And when he does that, he falls in the water. And the wife is trying to pull him up. And as she's trying to pull him up, she's struggling. Like, she's almost unable to do it. And so in that moment, you can see the look on her face where she's like, wait. This is my chance. This is my chance to get rid of him, to kill him. Because remember, in the beginning of the movie, she was with killing him. She was like, you try to kill me, I kill you. And in that moment, as she's holding on and getting ready to let go, she even looks up around to see, like, okay, nobody is around. I could do this right now. But at the last second, she has a change of heart. She uses her last bit of strength to pull him up out of the water. And everything is fine. And the police get there and they capitalize off of this tragedy. I think they wrote a book, they made a movie, she starred in it, and they lived happily ever after. And that was the movie, right? Let's talk about some of the themes in this movie. First of all, communication, obviously. Their relationship deteriorated because they didn't communicate. Bad communication will destroy any relationship, not just romantic relationships, friendships, family, whatever. The second thing, people change over time, right? So there was a scene. Remember I said they cooked dinner together. Well, he cooked dinner for her and she helped out. The dinner that he cooked was steak. And he asked her, did she like it? And she was like, oh, it's okay. And he was like, okay, steak is your favorite. And she's like, I like steak, but it's not my favorite. And he's like, well, what is your favorite? And she was like, ceviche. And so he was like, ceviche. And it just made me think big picture, like, I'm sure steak probably was her favorite at one point, but maybe ceviche is her favorite now. And sometimes I think, especially in long-term relationships, we don't realize that over time people change. And that's okay. We have to give people room to grow. And that's okay. Another theme is realizing somebody's worth when it's too late. Don't let something tragic or big have to happen, or somebody walking away, for you to realize how important they are. Now look at everything that they had to go through for them to realize, like, oh wait, this is my person. Like, we almost had to be murdered. We were tortured in order for me to realize, like, oh, you really do have my back. You really do care about me. Like, obviously this was a movie. It was an extreme example, but even in real life, like, sometimes it takes a person to be like, you know, they're leaving or something bad to happen for you, other people to say, like, oh wait, I do care about this person. And I just think sometimes we need to take a step back and make sure those things don't happen. My overall rating of this movie is going to be a C+. I did not hate the movie. It just wasn't my thing. And I think that they could have left that scene out. Again, the scene that I mentioned. This movie was a comedy thriller. And here's the thing. I'm going to be honest. When it comes to comedy, I am very hard to please when it comes to comedy. I may have laughed twice in this movie. Everybody else in the movie theater, cracking up. Me, not so much. So I'm not going to hold that against them. But I just don't think this is a movie that I would watch, like, over and over again. But you let me know how you feel. If you watched it, drop down in the comments. Let me know how you felt. I do think it will be coming out on streaming services soon. So I do encourage you to go ahead and check it out and let me know what you think. All right, I'll see y'all on the next one.
We came from nothing to something, nigga. I don't trust nobody, grip the trigger.